Wherever you live, you can make considerable energy savings by residing in a home that is well designed and includes energy-efficient features and appliances. An energy-efficient house can help to reduce annual energy bills by up to 40%. This would both be environmentally friendly and economically sound. Fraser, to my mind, building a house that is green from the ground up seems to be an intricate task. Is it as challenging as it sounds?
It's actually easier building it from the ground up because you get to look at things from their inception. So you get to work with elements like design, building materials, integrating solar or wind into the house from the initial build, which is a lot easier because you can actually create the infrastructure as opposed to a retrofit where you have to go in and create new infrastructure.
You may be wondering what goes into constructing a home that uses resources like water and electricity efficiently. Energy efficiency simply means using less energy to provide the same service or achieve the same result.
What you have to do is look at your consumers in the house. So when it comes to water, you look at your overall water consumption. So straight off the bat, anything used for irrigation can be done through catchment. When it comes to fixtures, you want to look at fixtures that are aerating fixtures. So what they do is they actually inject air in with the water as the water comes out of the fixture. So it uses a third of the water of traditional fixtures, but you get that same water flow. When it comes to energy, you want to look at your big consumers like the fridge, your washer dryer. Make sure that you're buying something which is as energy efficient as possible. You're going to usually see a higher upfront cost to these products, but over the life of their lifespan, they actually save you money. When it comes to lighting, you want to look at things like LED lighting, fans. You can look at DC motor fans. So you just want to look at the individual components of a house and make sure that you're getting the most efficient products up front. So what I'm going to show you today is how to build your own organic sprays to keep pests away. So, 2 Scotch bonnet peppers, some cloves of garlic.
Energy saving is also about doing things in a smarter way without reducing the quality of service or your level of comfort. You therefore reduce your impact on the environment by using less energy and saving some money.
1 part of this to 20 parts water. Put in some nice Bajan molasses. And what the molasses does is when you spray it on the plants, it gives the appearance of the plants having a very high sugar level. It depends how you look at cost. Everyone looks at initial cost, which is a very tricky thing to quantify. But when you look at the actual lifespan of the house and the product, I always promote in investing in initial quality, which is where you get a higher quality product which lasts longer and saves you energy throughout its lifespan. So these are the 2 Sunny Island inverters, which convert the DC into AC. The AC is the power that the house will use, and the DC is how we store the battery. So what we're looking at is it's 10:20 in the morning, and the batteries are at a state of charge of 89%. The sun's out, so we're getting about 2.5 kilowatts, so 2,500 watts, which portion of it is going to powering the house, and the rest is going to be stored in the batteries. Which means at this rate, by about noon, the system will be fully charged and ready for the night.
Are the building materials used to construct an energy-saving home different from those in any other dwelling?
When it comes to energy savings, one of the big differences is if you're going to air condition a building, you want to make sure that you're insulating. When it comes to materials and material choices, it's not so much on the energy saving side of things, it's more on the green building side. So take lumber, for example. I always make sure that I purchase sustainably farmed lumber, and unfortunately a lot of the stuff we get in Barbados comes from undocumented sources in South America. So I think if the government's serious about creating a green economy, we have to not only create one in Barbados, but we have to make sure that our purchases support a global green economy.
What kind of cost returns can a homeowner expect from his or her energy-saving home?
Let's just take solar, for example. So if you do a 5 kilowatt grid tied system, you're looking at an investment of, depending which company you go with, anywhere from $35,000 to $50,000. That system is going to pay for itself within, say, 5 to 7 years. So what happens is that system is going to last for 20 years. So although you pay for 5 or 7 years, that's your break-even point for the next, let's call it 7 years. So for the next 13 years, you're going to produce free energy in your house. So, when it comes to cost savings and long-term cost savings, when you invest in these things, what you're doing is you're locking in your energy rate for the next 20 years. So you don't have to be dependent on oil prices, on what the utility company is charging you. You actually get to take control over your own financial future.
Energy saving is an integral part of sustaining the environment.
It comes back to the reduce, reuse, recycle, and everyone looks at recycling as the epitome of being green, but there's 2 steps before there, and reducing is really the important thing that we need to look at. So we need to reduce our consumption of electricity, we need to reduce or minimize our consumption of disposable containers. We need to really look at our total consumption, and energy is definitely a portion of that we need to look at as far as going forward as a sustainable island.
What would an eco-friendly house like this one cost to build?
I always say that they're cost comparable. So when you're looking at building a house, you have certain set costs, and those aren't going to change. So things like lumber, which I mentioned earlier, you're looking at a very comparable price. It's just supporting one type of lumber versus another. When you get into things like putting a photovoltaic system on your house to offset your energy use, I don't look at that as an expense, more as an investment. Lighting is going to cost you, call it twice as much. So what you can do if money is a real issue is you know how you live in a house and you're going to use the kitchen lights and you're going to use certain lights more often. So if you can only invest in, say, 10 light bulbs, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you put those light bulbs in the places that you use the most, so that way you get the most value out of them.
Can you explain how an energy-saving home can mean a healthier life for the persons who live inside of it?
What happens is you become more connected to your consumption. So, through living this lifestyle and producing my own power and living off-grid, it's made me a lot more aware of my consumption. So you'll see throughout the garden, we grow all of our own food now. And once you become aware, that's the first steps. So, I consume less, I have better relationships with the people in my life who are important to me. But what it does is it creates a well-rounded lifestyle.
What can average homeowners who are interested in green remodeling do to turn their homes into energy-saving ones?
What you want to do is look at your overall consumption. So you would look at your energy bill. If you go to a lot of the companies that are doing solar installations now, they'll actually come through and do a free energy audit for you, or one at a nominal charge, which is great because it'll let you know where you stand, and they'll actually give you recommendations about what you can implement as far as lighting, appliances, to make your house more efficient. When it comes to water, like I said, you want to go for aerating fixtures, which save you about 2/3 on your water bill. Materials, if you have specific questions, you can get in touch with us at Ecostructure, and we can let you know where to get in touch with local suppliers who will supply you with the environmentally responsible products you need for your renovation.
Would it be expensive to change an existing house into one that saves on water and electricity?
I think it's more expensive not to change, especially when you take a long-term view about where I would like to see Barbados be in the next 15, 20, 30, 50 years, and even 10 generations from now. So what we can do, and what I think Barbados has a very unique opportunity to do, is create an example or a template for the world to follow. If we can actually implement these ideas on a national scale, we have the ability to change quicker than most countries because of our size and our education levels. So what we can do is we're always talking about what can we export from Barbados to create some sort of return on our investment. I put forward that we can export the idea of sustainability, the actual functioning idea of sustainability, and that to me will create wealth in Barbados that we haven't seen yet.
about your work with the Future Center Trust.
The Future Center Trust is one of the island's only environmentally minded NGOs. It was founded by Dr. Colin Hudson, who is a giant of a man. And what they're involved with is community projects, setting up recycling programs in our schools, school education projects. You'll see all along the highways that we've been planting tons and tons of trees. So that's Barney doing that. He's doing an amazing job. We've also launched our Green Business Barbados program, which is launching within the next month or so. And we'll be taking on 20 local businesses. So if you're interested as a local business owner about how you can become a more sustainable business and actually create beneficial marketing strategies and promoting green industry on the island, get in touch with either Sharice Gibson or Ariana at the Future Center Trust. The Future Trees project, as it stands right now, anyone can go and donate. Corporations can donate. It's not being taken advantage to the full potential. I would love to see maybe like Air Canada or Virgin or these airlines that come in and actually give consumers the option to offset their CO2 emissions by planting trees. But most of the trees are planted overseas. I'd love to see maybe a bridge or a link between some airline companies to actually show a direct correlation between tourism and sustainability. There are some other projects online, which one is creating the island's first fruitscape, which would be a free national food park where any Bajan can go with their kids, their family, and they can just walk and pick mangoes, avocados, and cherries, and you name it, we'll put it in there. But we've been meeting a bit of resistance against that so far, but persistence always overcomes. When you look at conservation or reducing, it's every aspect. So, what I did in my own life is I started with the energy side, and through that, I started seeing there were big portions of my life where I was being very wasteful. So, this is something which is relatively new in my life as well, in the big scheme of things. So, what I've done is just gone through, and as I get one portion of my life sustainable, two other things pop up, and that took me about 2 years of almost like whack-a-mole, keeping them down. But after that, you reach a point where you are truly sustainable, and it really takes a whole bunch of weight off your shoulders. I don't have the traditional water bills, the traditional energy bills, the traditional food bills. And right now we're coming into some tough times where money is getting very lean for everybody. So I think it's important to understand that not spending is the same as earning.
Are there any plans on the horizon for even newer techniques in green technology as they emerge on the market?
Everyone asks me this all the time. The great thing is we're at where we need to be. The technology that is here right now is as good as it needs to be, and it will get better. It will get less expensive, it will get smaller. Some of the best minds in the world are working on this problem. So, it's going to be amazing to see what comes out even within our lifetime. But as it stands right now, the technology is there to make it economically viable and to give you the results that you need, which would be a house like this.
You can think about green living as well as improving the energy efficiency of your home if you are building, renovating, buying, selling, or renting. The decisions you make now will affect your lifestyle and your energy costs for many years to come.